ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So today is disappearance day of Srila Rupa Goswami. So as many of you are already familiar, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they are practically the leaders of the followers of Lord Chaitanya. All the followers are called as Rupa Nugas, and Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami were given detailed instruction by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Rupa Goswami, in his eternal constitutional position in Golok Vrindavan as Rupa Goswami, is Rupa Manjari. So Rupa Manjari is the leader of the Manjaris, and she kind of directs. And Rupa Goswami, same Rupa Manjari comes as Srila Rupa Goswami. So actually the forefathers of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they were both brothers, and their forefathers, they migrated to West Bengal. Do you know where they migrated from? Karnataka. They migrated from South India. Yes, Karnataka area. They were Saraswat Brahmins over there, their ancestors, and they migrated. And there in Bengal, they their grandfather actually was basically working under the under the Mughals or Muslim rulers. And there are slight variations, and there are different details into how they were, their forefathers. But long story short, these both, Roop and Sanatan, do you know their names originally? What were their names before they came in touch with Nawab or Lord Chaitanya?
Prabhuji, Santosh and Amar something. For Rupa Goswami, I forgot, but I think
3 times Hari Bol for Mataji. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari. Yes, Amar and Santosh were their names. So Amar and Santosh, they were very, very extraordinarily brilliant from their childhood, and they basically landed up working for the king somehow or the other. And the king was Muslim ruler who was obviously not following the Vedic culture, Vedic etiquette, and all of that. And because they were closely associating with him, they were considering themselves to be very, very fallen, because now they have associated, an association and service to the king in a way which is not obviously not Krishna conscious, but is so mundane and materialistic. They were feeling very, very very, very fallen. And of course, this was their humility also. If you see, in modern age, the way people are serving their in their job, in their companies, we are serving so many malichas in one sense, if you see, right? We all work in different places, and we should feel ourselves even more fallen. But we somehow or the other never get this thought. We are always taking pride. Oh, we are working in America. We are working, in this field, that field, some professional degree. But Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, so skillful they were, and they were feeling that, oh, I'm so fallen. And I'm going to just tell very briefly, because we don't have that much time. And then I want to hear from other devotees also. So I want to leave some time for that. So Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, even though they were working there, they were making all the arrangements to remain Krishna conscious. So in their childhood only, they had nice training because they were born in Brahmin families. They had good knowledge of Sanskrit. They knew many other languages, Persian, Farsi, Urdu, different languages. They knew Bengali.
probably more. But they also learned the scriptures from other teachers. Can anybody tell any of the names of their teacher?
Lord Chaitanya.
Before meeting Lord Chaitanya, one of their teachers was Vidya Vachaspati. So especially for Sanatana Goswami, he used to teach, and slowly, Sanatana Goswami was very attracted. Rupa Goswami was attracted. In fact, they got a dream that in a dream a Brahman came and gave them Srimad Bhagavatam, and next day when they woke up, same thing actually happened. A person came and gave them Srimad Bhagavatam, which they actually and instructed that he should read them every day. So they started reading Bhagavatam, and they had palaces because they were working in big positions. So they had palaces, and in those palaces they had constructed practically the replica of Vrindavan Dham. So that is how they were living. Even if you go now, you can go and visit their places where they lived and where they had all these holy places of Krishna, Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and so on and so forth. So even though they were in a materialistic position and a very non-Krishna conscious environment, they were making it Krishna conscious. Now this is very pertinent for all of us, because we are practically in the similar situation of being in a non-Krishna conscious environment. We may not necessarily have devotees around us. We may not even have temples around us nearby. We may not have things to remind us of Krishna necessarily. But same was their situation, and it was more stricter than us. And in that they created Vrindavan. So they had some knowledge, some idea, and they got to know about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And because they had the knowledge, they understood that this is actually Supreme Lord himself. And so they were writing letters to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he will not reply. He was not replying. So a disciple is very humble. Disciple doesn't mean I'll write once, and if the other person doesn't reply, then it hurts my ego. No, why should I write? I should not write. They were repeatedly writing, even though they were not getting any replies. This is the sign of humility, that I need your mercy. I need your blessing. This is how one has to approach the spiritual master, by understanding that without you, I have no other hope. Not that we are thinking, acha, we can take initiation from this one. Oh, he doesn't want to give, somebody else will take. Oh, something else will do. Not like that. When Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami were writing to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were not thinking, अरे Lord Chaitanya ने कोई और कर लेंगे, क्या दिक्कत है, बहुत है. No, they were eagerly waiting for the mercy. Repeatedly they will write letters. Similarly, when Narottam Das Thakur, he approached, whom did he approach for initiation? Can anybody tell? Whom did Narottam Das Thakur?
Loknath Goswami.
Correct, Loknath Goswami. So he approached Loknath Goswami. Loknath Goswami said, I'm not in position to give initiation, because he had taken a resolution that I will not initiate anybody. And then he said, oh, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and told you to take initiation from me, so you are even more advanced than me, because he told you, he came to you, he did not come to me. So he was not giving initiation to Narottam Das. But Narottam Das was crying and weeping that without your mercy, how will I survive? He was not thinking, acha, okay, no problem, Loknath Goswami, no problem, I'll go to someone else. Okay, I'll ask somebody else. Not like that. So this is the eagerness is tested. Krishna tests the eagerness of a disciple. How much we are eager, how much we are humbling ourselves, how much we are in want and need, how much we are surrendering ourselves. Similarly, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, his own father was a great saint, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then his father and they both had unanimously decided that I will get initiation, or Bhaktisiddhanta, who was Bimal Prasad, he will get initiation from whom? Who was his guru?
Babaji Kishore.
Huh?
Babaji Kishore Das.
Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. He said, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj is whom you should go and take initiation from. He said, yes, my father, my dear father, definitely. I also wanted to take initiation from him only. So that go. So he said, Gaur Kishore Babaji had made a resolution that I am not going to accept disciple. I am not so advanced. But when he approached, and everybody knew how great saint Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was. And when he approached, he humbled. He had to go back and forth many times, like Narottam Das Thakur. He had to go back and forth for the whole year. He had to go and try to figure out how to serve Guru Maharaj. In this day and age, even if somebody gives us service, then also we say, oh, maybe somebody else can do. And if nobody else do, then maybe I will do it. That is how we may not say, but that is how we feel. So this is the difference between great souls and ordinary conditioned souls. Conditioned souls are asked, okay, chant Hare Krishna. They said we can't chant. And even if they start chanting, they don't understand the meaning of chanting Hare Krishna. The meaning is, Krishna, please give me service. Krishna, Srimati Radharani, please help me engage in your service. So when the service is coming, they don't know the meaning. They say, no problem, we can't do it. Or I will do this particular type of service. I want to do this only. I want to give lecture, or somebody will say, no, I want to do deity worship only. Or somebody will say, no, I want to do cooking only. The service which I choose is what I should do. But great personalities, they see what service is needed. And they, by the guidance, blessing, and orders of their seniors, they humble themselves to accept whatever service is needed. Narottam Das Thakur, great personality, he could not find any service. What did he do? He found that, okay, have to clean the place where my Guru Maharaj, now he was not given initiation, but he accepted him as Guru. So once you accept somebody as Guru, then you accept it as Guru. So he accepted Loknath Maharaj as Guru. He went, I want to serve my Guru Maharaj, no matter what. And then he was cleaning that place every single night, and nobody else knew it. Only two people, he himself and Krishna. That's it. No third person knew it. He wasn't going and telling everyone, oh, you know what? I'm doing my secret service for my Guru Maharaj. You don't know. Not like that. Only two people. So when there is a saying that when a great service is done, great activity is done, and we boast about it, go around boasting about it, we actually lose the credit. We lose the credit because of so much pride and so much ignorance we have. Of course, there are situations when we have to share with others, let's say for giving inspiration to others, or for accomplishing a task. We may have to tell our seniors or those who are in similar circle, to have some encouragement, inspiration, and some rasa of exchange. But it should not develop pride, which can very easily come. And when pride comes, then all the credit which we're supposed to get, even spiritual credit, we are actually almost losing it. So this is how great personalities were doing. So as they were writing the letters to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually decided to take tour of Vrindavan. And while he was going to Vrindavan, he actually took a detour and went to Ramakeli. Ramakeli was actually the capital city of where they were serving. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there, he came with many people, thousands of people. And as he came with thousands of people, the Nawab, he was getting a little scared, because those who are in such positions, especially who are kings, or even the countries in which they have such dictatorship kind of thing, there they will not allow anyone else to gain attention and power, because it can be a threat. So many people overthrow. Even Nawab Hussain Shah became the king by overthrowing someone. So there are a lot of coup happening. So in this situation, he was thinking, oh, who is this person coming? So many people. Nawab Hussain Shah was feeling threatened. He even asked, what was the name of the person with him? He asked. Can anybody remember? Was it something like Keshav Khan or something? He was actually a devotee. So he asked this man, who is this? Inquire about him. So this was a devotee. He did not. So many devotees were serving actually the Nawab, not just Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, but others also. So this man, he was also a devotee. He thought, if I tell him about Lord Chaitanya, this guy, he has no control on his senses. So you cannot trust such a person. Like even when Vasudev went and gave his first child to Kamsa, at that time, Kamsa told Vasudev, oh, this is the first child, no problem, you take him. I have threat only from the 8th child, so take him. So Vasudev took him back, but Vasudev knew, Kamsa, he has no control on his senses, so he doesn't have any control in his mind. So he will fluctuate. Right now he's saying, no problem. Next moment he can again summon me to come. So similarly here also he knew that you never know this, person who's the king, Nawab Hussain Shah. So he's told Nawab, he's an ordinary person. No, you don't have to worry about it. He's just a fakir, beggar, going with few handful of people. But Nawab, somehow he got from inside that this is not an ordinary person. He said, no, what are you talking? I've heard he is the supreme personality actually. So go and inquire more about it. So like that, he was trying to inquire, and then Rupa and Sanatan, they at the middle of the night or in the evening, they changed their dress, not from the royal dress, but ordinary dress. He went there and they were paying obeisances from a distance because of their humility. And as they were paying obeisance, so it was Rup, Sanatan, and Anupam. These were the three brothers. So they were paying obeisances and they were longing to have mercy. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. And the way they were displaying their humility in front of the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling that, Sanatan, Rup, your humility is breaking my heart. So they got a lot of mercy, a lot of blessings of the Lord. And Sanatana Goswami here, he actually told Rupa Goswami, Lord Chaitanya, that, my dear Lord, I just want to submit a few words, a request, a suggestion rather. And that suggestion was that when you're going to Vrindavan, maybe, it may be a little bit better to go with a smaller crowd than so many people. Right? It's a place of seclusion, place of meditation, place of absorption. Of course, one can feel little strange that, oh, he is telling Lord Chaitanya, what is this? But this is also being transparent. If a thought comes in the mind, sharing there's no harm. Basically, how we can serve the Lord best. If Lord wants to be served in a way that we put our mind and thoughts with sincere and serious desire to serve, then that is totally fine. Different people may have different ideas. Sharing with our seniors, sharing with our gurus, sharing with our, those who may be superior is no harm at all. This is how it is, but should not come with any sort of a pride. Like another example comes from the Bhagavatam, where Lord Shiva is sitting with Mother Parvati and practically embracing Mother Parvati very, very closely, and then giving a lecture on renunciation to the saints and sages who were totally renounced. And in this situation, some person notices this and comes there. Who notices it? This is a question for everybody.
Prabhuji, it was, I think, Vritasura.
It's that pastime, but who was the person who saw? Vritasura was the next life. Who was he?
Oh, Chitraketu Maharaj.
Excellent. 3 times Hari Bol for Anand Kirshori and Natasha Mataji. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol.
So Chitraketu Maharaj, he actually saw, he was already pure. He had seen the Supreme Lord, but he was having some slight tinge of pride. It is said like that, that because he had a very, very slight tinge of pride that I've seen the Lord, and he thought he can instruct Lord Shiva, who is so much superior to him in one sense. He said a few words, but now he was very, very advanced. He was almost pure, but there a slight thing was there. So because he was almost pure, he displayed his response. He got cursed because of very slight pride, but then his response to the curse was excellent. And that's when Lord Shiva said that famous shloka. What was that shloka? Ansh can tell. Ansh? Anybody else can recite the shloka? Narayana.
Narayanam Naraya Parasar Verna Kutastrana Vibyati Swargapurga Keshu Api Tulyartha Darshanam.
Yes, very nice. So this is Lord Shiva saying that what is the quality of great Vaishnavas, great devotees of the Lord. Whether it is hell or heaven, they don't care where they are going to land up. They just want to serve the Supreme Lord. So that kind of situation, he actually got into trouble because of a slight tinge of pride. Very, very, but his response to that curse was supreme, and he was completely purified at that time. And then when he took a birth as Vritrasur, he was totally going back to Godhead. But here there was no pride at all. Humility, so much humility, you see that Lord's heart is breaking. So how much humility it has to be there. So this is how these great personalities were. After that, Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them to stay in their respective position and continue their service. In fact, they got a reply from the Lord that when a lady has extramarital affair, then she serves her husband and her family even in a better way, so that they have no suspicion. So this kind of a reply they got. Now some people say, why this kind of reply Lord Chaitanya is, writing about such things, extramarital and all this is, against regulative principle. Yes, that is true. But, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was mentioning that there are very few things which leave a deep enough an impression in the mind of people more than male-female relationships. You say in school practically, this becomes something which kids start talking about, and then college, these things continue, so it leaves a long lasting impression. And the point was, even in that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is spiritualizing that by using it as an example, which to make a point also, which does not leave one's mind that, okay, we have to stay in this world in the middle of all the materialist people, but serve them in such a way that they don't have any negative feelings about Krishna consciousness. So like that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them to continue, but soon after that, by the blessings of the Lord, and Lord mentioned that soon you will be relieved from these services. And then Lord Chaitanya made arrangements that Rupa Goswami left, and he came directly to serve the Supreme Lord. So a lot of pastimes happened. In Jagannath Puri, Rupa Goswami saw Lord Chaitanya dancing and singing around Lord Jagannath, and he was the only one who understood what song Lord Chaitanya was singing, which was appearing to be a mundane song. So he wrote it on a piece of leaf, and then kept it on top of his thatched hut. Went for taking bath, came, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and saw it. Oh my God, how come this young boy knows what is there in my heart? He actually slapped Rupa Goswami with love. That how come this man knows? And then Rupa Goswami, Swarup Damodar, who's practically the right hand of Lord Chaitanya and the secretary, he said, you only have given mercy to Rupa when you went to Ramakeli. That's why he knows. So Rupa Goswami learned 10 days, on a 10-day stretch. Lord Chaitanya gave them the teachings. All the teachings were given. And Rupa Goswami is the Abhiday Acharya. So Sambandh, Abhiday and Prayojan. So Abhiday means taking from just establishment of Sambandha to the highest level. So whole process, that is how Rupa Goswami teaches in his books. Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, beautiful book by Rupa Goswami. Nectar of Instruction also by Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami wrote other books as well. So all these wonderful books written by these Goswamis, they were written on the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya gave them instructions to go to Vrindavan, write books based upon all the Vedic scriptures, highlighting and emphasizing the essential principles to be, Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga. So all the work they did, it was practically in Sanskrit, very, very authoritative, very, very powerful books they wrote. And then build temples, excavate the holy places of Krishna, and show by your acharan how a Vaishnava should be, and write and show people, or in the temples, deity worship, how to carry that out. So all these things the Goswamis, headed by Rupa and Sanatan, were given the charge of, and all the other Goswamis were later on sent, and they were kind of younger too, from as compared to as compared to Rupa and Sanatan, they were much younger, the other Goswamis, and slowly they all went there. Of course, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami were not the first Goswamis who went to Vrindavan. Who came before Rupa and Sanatan to Vrindavan?
Prabhuji, was it Raghunath Das Goswami?
No, he came later. He was actually in Jagannath Puri with Lord Chaitanya. He stayed there for several years, probably, I think, good time. Many years he stayed there, and he saw all the pastimes of the Lord in Jagannath Puri, and came and told in the bank of Radha Kund. And there, amongst many people who were listening, one of them was Dash, who was one of the people who were listening from Rupa
Loknath Goswami?
No, from Raghunath Das Goswami, who was listening, who later on wrote the book.
Swarup Damodar Prabhu.
Krishna Das Kaviraj
Krishna
Goswami.
Das.
Yes, Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami's is the one who was listening, and he's the one who wrote the book. So Loknath Goswami and Bhugarg Goswami, Mataji said, right? Loknath Goswami and Bhugarg Goswami came even before Rup and Sanatan. They were sent by Lord Chaitanya, and Loknath Goswami was associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then Bhugarg Goswami was associate of Dash Gadadhar Pandit. So they sent both of them to Vrindavan, and then later on, Rup Goswami and Sanatana Goswami were sent. So like that, Rup Goswami, when he got retired, he had a boat full of gold coins, many gold coins, and he later distributed in such a way. 50% he gave for Krishna conscious devotees, Krishna conscious causes. 25% he gave to his family members and relatives, and 25% he kept for emergencies. And then later he actually gave it all up, and was living in Vrindavan every day under a different tree, doing their bhajan, doing their sadhana, sleeping barely 2 hours a day, and they were busy in so many services. And a lot of other pastimes happened while they were in Vrindavan, but we have no time today. So I'll stop here, and I'll request all the other devotees to probably share few words or some things which we have not spoken about so far today. Who would like to share first? Can tell any pastime or anything about Rup Goswami which I have not covered.
Hare
Natasha,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, yes. Natasha.
Prabhuji, you covered everything, so there's nothing to share.
There are so
just-
many things about Rup Goswami. If you think a little, you will remember so many.
Just a couple things that came to my
Yes.
mind is,
Please.
so like you said, he's in his eternal constitutional possession, he's Rup Manjari. So, so it is described that Rup Manjari helps Radharani in cooking, while cooking food for Krishna. So when she's, Radharani, Yashoda Maya invites Radharani to cook prasadam for Krishna every day. And Rup Manjari is the one that lights the fire on which Radharani cooks the food. Just a small thing that I remember. But another pastime later on was one with Jeev Goswami that we have talked about before, is where Rup Goswami composed that verse where he said that Mukti is like a Pishachini or something like that, like a witch.
Correct.
So one of the other senior devotees, Vaishnava, came and he showed him the verse, and the Vaishnav, I don't remember their name, Prabhuji.
Vallabhacharya.
Vallabhacharyas. They did not like that verse very much, that why are you calling Mukti as Pishachini? That is very aggressive, very strong word to use. So, Jeev Goswami, Srila Jeev Goswami did not like the criticism of his, guru's, not guru, but yeah, of his guru's verse composition. So he called out Vallabhacharya on it that this sounds perfect to me. And so Rup Goswami then chastised Srila Jeev Goswami and punished him by sending him out of Vrindavan, that you please don't live in Vrindavan anymore. And that time, Srila Jeev Goswami suffered a lot in separation from Vrindavan and from Srila Rup Goswami. He was in agony. He was living like in a cave in a mountain, and calling out, crying, and in a very poor state because of separation and finally Rupa Goswami, on behest of Srila Sanatan Goswami, went to get him, and they were together again. He invited him to Vrindavan again. But that was another pastime that I remember, Prabhuji. Can't think of
Thank you.
anything else.
Thank you very much. Anybody else would like to share any other pastimes? Or if anybody has any questions, they can ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I just wanted to mention that there's a lot of wonderful literature written by Srila Rupa Goswami, and we read some of them. And Nectar of Instruction we read a little while ago. That was by Srila Rupa Goswami, which starts off, which is, which has so many instructions for the neophyte to the highest level of devotee, for everybody. Those instructions are equally important, and something to take away for everybody is there. So and there's so many other literature and works by Srila Rupa Goswami on which Srila Prabhupada has elaborated further, and so just wanted to mention that contribution, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That's very, very important contribution, actually. Thank you so much for mentioning. So what all books did he write? Can anybody name some of the books? So one he mentioned, Nirvay Prabhu, was
Anakeli Kamudini, Lalit Madhav, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu.
Bhakti Rasamrita
This is
Sindhu.
the prominent books, 16 books. He has written many books, but 16 prominent books these are the books. And Updeshamrut Prabhuji. And he established the teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why we are calling the Rupanuga, because we follow in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Goswami.
Yes, very nice. So we are following the Rupa. So Mataji mentioned Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Mataji mentioned Updeshamrit, and which one? Vigad Madhav, you said?
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
Vigad Madhav and Lalit Madhav you can remember together.
Danakeli
Vigad
Kamudini.
Madhav is the one where Vrindavan pastimes are there. Lalit Madhav is it, I think, Dwarka pastimes.
Yes.
And then Dan Keli Kaumudi is there. Yes. What else?
I know this much, Prabhu.
Ujjwal Neelamani, very famous, is another. And many others are there, like Mataji said, Padyavali. So many books are there. But these are some of the important ones. Okay. Anybody else?
Prabhuji, he also manifested the deities of Radha Gopinath, right? No, Radha Govinda.
Okay. So he was worshipping the deities of Radha Govinda.
And how he came to about find them, the whole past and the whole story. Right? I can't remember the exact story, but how
Yeah,
he
I'll have to check also. I can't remember the details of how they manifested the Radha Govinda deities.
And then his pranam mantra that we say every day before,
Yes.
during Mangalacharan.
Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam.
Stapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamayi dadati.
Thank you. And then when Prabhupada was starting his preaching activities, before that he made his residence in front of the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami. If you see this image here on the left side here, what is this? Srila Prabhupada was in his room, and there he used to do the writing work, and he had a vision of Srila Rupa Goswami. And once he had the vision of all the Goswamis, Rup, Sanatan and Jiva, they all came to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada wasn't revealing all these details most of the time, but very rarely he used to give a hint and told his disciples about how these things are happening because of the blessings and arrangement and guidance of higher powers. And they were giving specific instruction to Prabhupada, how he has to carry on, what he has to do. And that is how he could execute. That's why Prabhupada used to say that I am simply an instrument in the hands of my Guru Maharaj, like that. And when His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj also write in his book, Journey Home, if devotees have read, when he was taking darshan of Rupa Goswami Samadhis, Rupa Goswami actually, he had a revelation too. So it is not that it is only happening, somewhere in the past. Even devotees currently are getting it. To the extent we can purify ourselves and submit ourselves with humility and with devotion at the lotus feet of our, gurus, our acharyas. To that extent, we'll be able to witness the arrangement of Krishna, and we will be able to assist in the service of Krishna. All right, so these pastimes are unlimited, but I think unfortunately the time is limited, so we will stop here. Any final words, questions, comments, any points? Otherwise we'll conclude. Okay, thank you all the devotees for participating. We'll end here. Shri Rupa Goswami ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.